Hi, I'm Steve Otte with Model Railroader Magazine. I'm here with Cody Grivno and Jim Heidger, and this is the Winter Hill branch of the Milwaukee, Racine Troy. This is our project layout for 2013. Now, a few months ago, the three of us, under Cody's leadership and with Jim's guidance, took this section of the layout from bare plywood to a neat, fun, working industrial branch line. And in this coming series of videos, we're going to show you how we did that, and we'll also give you a lot of tips on things you can use on your own layout as well. So let's take a look at the branch line and see how it works.
Hi, I'm Cody, and I'm here with Senior Editor Jim Heidger. In future installments, Jim, we're going to look at how you built Larson Stone Company, which was named in honor of our longtime publisher and editor, Russ Larson. But now, could you just give us a little bit of background on how this industry operates?
Okay, this particular setup is typical of the end of a branch line that we have all over Wisconsin at one time. And basically, we have a runaround track right in the middle of town, so we can get the engine that comes in worked around his train to get it on the head end going out. And at the same time, it helps them position cars into the two tracks at the quarry. We have one outside track that has nothing over the top of it, and that's designed for loading by the front end loaders and the big trucks that bring stuff up from the quarry. The other track is got a loader on it with a conveyor coming from the quarry that's over on the other valley next to us. And in this area, the cars are just pushed underneath and they dump the measured loads into the cars. And it's all designed so that we can bring about 8 or 10 cars down in a cut from the other yard, or the junction with the main line, really. And then they bring the cars in here and take about half of the cut, do a runaround move, and then they can push it over into one of those tracks and then go get the other half of the train, bring it down, and do the same runaround. But that's typical of what the branch lines were like, because the railroads didn't want to spend a lot of money on making longer sidings and stuff.
All right, now we're here with Steve, and Steve has built a first for the Milwaukee, Racine Troy. It's an open industry here, Continental Building Materials, and could you tell us a little bit about this and how it's served?
Yeah, the interesting thing about Continental Building Materials, and this was editor Neil Basugloff's idea, was to not only use it as a fascia flat, but rather to have it open to the aisle so that you could look inside and see what's actually going on. Continental Building Materials is a shingle maker. So they bring in rolls of paper, various chemicals in barrels, particulates, and they ship out their finished product by rail as well. And the tanks over here receive asphalt, liquid asphalt in tanks. And I did a lot of research on the web trying to find out what the inside of an asphalt shingle plant might look like. Had absolutely no luck. But then I realized that the parts of the industry that would be next to the tracks would be shipping and receiving, and of course that's pretty easy to figure out what that is. So I've got the shipping area here with the open dock to receive box cars. The taller section is shipping with the finished product on these shelves here. And to add to the visual interest of the plant, I also took advantage of the increased height of the shipping side and scratch built a shipping office with big windows and an overhanging catwalk. Now let's go back in time and see how this all began. Hi, I'm Model Railroader Associate Editor Steve Otte, and welcome to the first of our Winter Hill video project blogs. I'm here with Cody Grivno, who's working on the track work right now, pulling up the old track work and making ready for the new track arrangements that we're going to install in this area. Winter Hill is the last major unfinished area of the Milwaukee, Racine Troy, which is our club layout here at Model Railroader Magazine. And it was the scene of a quarry and some trackage that went to nowhere and not much else. Hey, Cody.
Hey, Steve.
You're working on chiseling up the old track and road bed here.
Right, yeah, it's quite a task right now. They used some really good adhesive to put the old cork road bed down.
Right
so,
on the plywood.
You bet, yeah, so I'm pulling up some of the ply in the plywood actually in the process, so we'll have to go back and do a little touch-up work there, but I've been pulling out the rails, and one thing I found is that it's really handy to come in and just cut the flex track into smaller sections with rail nippers. That way you don't have big chunks you're trying to throw in the garbage, and it's just a little bit neater that way.
That makes sense.
Yep, so we're going to get this cork taken up, then we'll save the old quarry here that was built by Gordy Odegaard. He built that, and Walther's actually based their Glacier Gravel Company kit on this structure. So we'll save that for the MR Museum over by our editorial offices.
Our little history case.
You bet.
Right.
And then next week we'll come in and start putting down the cork for the new track.
Now, what are some of the plans that we've got worked out for this area?
Well, Steve, the first one is senior editor Jim Heidger is going to work on, like you said, a new quarry in here. It's going to be called Larson Quarry in honor of Russ Larson, our former editor and publisher. So we're going to have a conveyor coming out of the rock wall over there. Then we're going to drop down some rocks and have a little area that looks like the trucks can go down into a quarry. And then we'll have front end loading here. And then you'll be working on a shingle factory, correct?
Right. We're planning on having it be sort of a fascia flat, like we've had for the furniture factory on the last year's Virginian project. The difference being that instead of having the fascia come up and cover the back of the building, we're actually going to have it open so that you can look into the back of the building and see some of the industry and warehouse activities going on inside.
All right, Steve, well, that sounds really interesting. I think I'm going to get back to tearing up the cork so we can start laying the new track arrangement.
Great. And what's going to be different about the track here?
Well, we're going to do a little bit different setup here so we can have the conveyor loader over here.
Right.
And then we're going to have a little more room than we did before so we can have the front end loaders loading cars on this track. And then we're going to have the turnout pushed down a little bit more to get closer to your industry. And we'll also incorporate a little bit different arrangement for the runaround as well.
Right. Well, that's the first of our Winter Hill Project Railroad video blogs. Stay tuned for more as our project progresses. I'm Steve Otte. This is Cody Gribno. Thanks for watching.
All right.